in Boston. How are we doing today? I don't know why I'm in Boston, but I'm playing pretend, so I guess I can be wherever I want to. Well, today, how are you doing? How are you doing? I am not doing fine. I just had a phone call that was not pleasant. Let me tell you a little bit something about how this started. I have a teeny tiny problem about things staying the same way. This has a lot to do with order and cleaning, obsessive disorder, but I'm not very much into being obsessive about cleaning. A little bit about order, but it has a lot to do with order. Things has to stay the same way always in the same place, and it's kind of like going against life basically. So it's not very pleasant to be me. And this is how it all started, because it has a lot to do with this. There was like a construction at home. There was some pipe problems. I live in an apartment, one of those things that you don't want to deal with very often. But I had to eventually. I had to let the plumbers in and be like, okay, I guess we're doing this. My neighbor downstairs was getting water on her roof and blah blah blah. So I had to say yes eventually. Had to be a good neighbor, right? That's what people do. People who are not insane like me. So I said yes. I agree. Everything was fine. I was like 2 weeks and a half without a kitchen and a living room because they had to break down this wall as well. So everything was dusty. I was going crazy in my head because I don't like things to get ruined, and I know I was gonna have to clean the entire thing. So when I clean something, you know it's clean. Like, you could eat from this floor in my house, okay? That's all I'm saying. Oh God, you have no idea what I just been through. I had to apologize. Do you know what that feels like? People like me don't usually apologize because people like me don't usually make mistakes. But then again, here we are human, we have to accept that, come to terms with it, and I feel awful. I feel really awful that I was kind of forced by myself, by my conscience, to be like, you act like a total dick, now you have to make that call, bitch. And I had to say, hey, I'm sorry, I think I made a mistake. Which I have, trust me, I have. I even have proof. Like, it's one of those things that you can't escape from. Like, your mind tricks you awfully. My mind tricked me so awfully that I thought I was 100% right. I was like, I was even entitled. That was my attitude through the whole process. And then I had to just eventually lay my guard down and be like, hey, about that thing, I think I was wrong. Can you believe that? I know I can't. So the thing was, they changed the pipe, blah blah blah, they ended the whole process, and I was faced with the mess they left behind. So I think it was about a week until everything was done being clean. I had to clean every single tile of the walls. It was a very thorough process of cleaning. I was really tired. I was exhausted. You have to think about the fact that I was locked up in my room for two weeks and a half, and I was going insane. Like, I couldn't be in the kitchen. I had to order food. I had to eat pizza every fucking day because I couldn't cook, I had to wash my dishes in the bathroom. It was a nightmare for a person like me, I'm very structured sometimes, and shit like that just don't go with me, Funny thing is that I actually have the dream of living in a van where basically you clean up your ass next to where you cook. So I don't know, maybe I am insane. Or maybe I want to change. You have to believe me, I want to be better. And this is one of those proofs, because I did apologize and I did have to be humble. I feel like crying, that's why I'm making this video, because this just happened, the call, I had to make the call. Now we're gonna get there. So I was really exhausted from cleaning everything. It was a fucking mess. And then the painter had to come because he had to paint the wall that they took down, basically. And he did. He came several days until the last day. He also had to paint something in the kitchen. And when he left, I was relieved that I didn't have to see any of these people again, and that I could finally finish cleaning entirely my house and blah blah blah. And when I entered the kitchen, I was like, hold on a second, is that a fucking hole on the wall? there was I don't know about inches, but it was like this. It was a hole in the tile, like it was the last tile, like right next to the floor. And I was like, motherfucker, he broke my wall. And funny thing is that the part that he had to paint was far away from this wall, so it had nothing to do, but it looked like it has just been broken. Like one of the corners was like hanging. There was a piece of the tile hanging. I called the security of the building. I was like, can you send the painter over, please? This painter works in this building, so he was around. I guess things break often here, right? He is on a daily basis here. So he came over and I was like, what's this? What happened here? And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you broke the wall. I was so infuriated by the fact that he was lying to my face. And to be honest, you guys, he looked like he was lying. I mean, I know I'm crazy, but am I that crazy? I don't know. I think that I was seeing things. I mean, the hole is real. It's not something that I invented. I was like, it's okay. Like, I was like, it's okay if you broke the wall. I will understand. Like, you just have to tell me so that we can sort this out. You know, it might have been a mistake. And he was like, no, I swear to God, I didn't break the wall. I just painted that part. I did my job, did what I had to do, and I just left. I wasn't even nearby this wall. And I started becoming obsessed. I was like, okay. And I was like, I had this, I was feeling so bad, you guys. I was like about to cry. And in my mind, while I was cleaning the walls, that hole wasn't there. So I didn't have a recognition for that hole being there. So I was like, well, he broke it because he's the only person that came by today. And this was fun yesterday. Oh my God, I hate myself so much right now. Just remembering the whole thing is so shameful. So he was like, well, he took off, so I called the building manager. I was like, hey, you know, I have a situation here. He came here, he broke the wall. It's just a piece of tile, by the way. I say he broke the wall, just exaggerating. It was the last part of the tile. I was like, can you come over? So, and I am so nuts and such, I have to say, you guys, I'm such an asshole. I have a video on YouTube where I show my kitchen, or at least, I'm not showing the kitchen, it's just, I'm in the kitchen, okay? It was a vlog and the quality was not so good because I recorded that with an old phone. But in a part, like that wall was visible and it seemed to not have a broken tile. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. He totally broke my tile, and that proof just made me go insane. And that's another thing, you know, when things are not that clear or HD, you can't trust that shit. I'm telling you. It's a trap. Don't go for it. So he came over to my house, we looked at the tile together, I showed him the proof. I was like, I recorded this yesterday, which was a total lie, because I recorded that like a year ago, or maybe even more. I don't know, but I just knew that nobody would break the tile if it wasn't for the painter, right? Like there's no trashy people in my house around all the time. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna try to sort this out, I'm gonna talk to him. So then he called me and he was like, you know, I talked to him and he says that he didn't break it. And in my mind I was like, oh, of course he's gonna say he didn't break it. That's his whole game. That's his move. He wants to, I swear to God, you guys, and I know this is gonna sound insane to you, but in my mind I was like, he wants to tear my entire house apart. He has something on me. God, I can't believe that I am this nuts. Like, I already knew that I'm crazy. Like, this is not something new, but looking at it like this, you know when you're like, I should have shut the fuck up, which is something that I really considered at the time. Like, should I just stay shut about this? Like, after I talked to the painter, he said he didn't do it. I was like, maybe I should let this one by, but my mind was like, oh no, you're gonna make a mess right here. Which is something that I don't usually do, you know. I don't usually start up things or even, I'm not a discussion person, but I did it. I don't know, I guess I underestimated how stressed out I was by all the cleaning and the mess in my house, because I was clearly going insane. I was about to have a nervous break. Actually, when the building manager came to my house, I was talking to him, and at some point he looked at me because my voice was breaking. Like I was about to cry the hell out of myself. And I was more like nervous but not sad, but I swear my voice was trembling, which is not something usual on me. My voice is almost never trembling. And he looked at me kind of concerned, like, are you okay? Are you in the right state of mind, or are you going insane here? I clearly was, as we know now. So here's what happened. A couple of days went by, the building manager was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to the administration because I honestly don't know what to do here. He says he didn't do it. You say that he did do it. And I was like, okay, yes, get back to me, I guess. And well, days went by, and look how funny things are and how God managed to handle things, because yesterday I had not much to do. I was organizing my content, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm gonna look at old videos of mine. I used to record videos, and I was like, maybe I can use something for my new channel, which is in English. This material is in English, so I was like, maybe I can find something to post, whatever, my old funny files. So I was going through these fucking files until I got to one video in which I was in the kitchen, and this one was recorded in 4K, so there was no way that I was gonna make a mistake on this one. So I was like, but I was facing the other part of the kitchen, so I really had to turn around the camera, and I don't know if I was gonna do that at some point in the video until I did. I pointed exactly where the camera should. Actually, I made a whole panel of the kitchen just so that I don't get it wrong. And the hole was there, you guys. The hole was there, same shape, same size. You have no idea how my face changed. I was all perky and happy about finding new content, and out of the sudden I'm like, oh my god, I killed an innocent man. The feeling was like that, man, because accusing him of something that he truly didn't do. And I didn't have a beef with the painter, you know, like I didn't want to start up some shit, now he must fucking hate me or something. I was like, oh no, like I made a mistake and the hole was already there. You know what's the worst part of it all? That video was recorded 2 years ago and the hole was already there. So yes, fuck me, I'm a fucking prick. No news here. So I was like, I started getting really sad. I know the feeling was being shameful, but I'm not used to feeling like that. Because I truly, and I don't want to sound like a prick here, but I truly rarely make a mistake. Especially one like this. Because I'm very observative, and now sounds dumb to say, but I have a really strong photographic memory. So, you know, and in those days that went by, I started looking at the hole thinking, was that hole already there? Like I was clearly going insane, because at some point I thought I saw it before, you know, like it wasn't a new thing. But then I was like, but I was going so insane that then I was like, no, that's what he wants me to think of. That's what the painter wants me to think, that I'm going crazy here. That hole was there before and it wasn't. He broke it. He broke my tile. That's what he wants. That's his move. That's his move. He must do this in every apartment in this building. I was this close to go apartment through apartment asking, hey, do you have a broken tile in your kitchen? I think he's doing something here. I don't know. Maybe he's planning to bomb the entire building. I don't know. I'm just saying. So eventually I got really sad and I knew I had to make this call, of course. Like, I could have chosen two paths. I could have chosen to stay silent since nobody has contacted me about the wall thing yet. But then I was like, because of course, like, I didn't want to make that call. Nobody wants to make that call and say, hey, you know what, about that tile, I think I was wrong. And not only was I wrong, but I was insane as well. I didn't want to make that call, but I knew I had to make it because this is a man's job, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to put the painter in between this and my mistake. So I made the call today. I called the building manager and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, about that tile. I think I was wrong." Seriously, I was. I had to be utterly honest with him. That was the worst part of it all. I was like, I found another video, better quality. And it turns out that the tile was already broken. I know, unbelievable. He was like, "Oh wow, well it's," look at what he said. I don't know if they should have made this better or even worse. He was like, "Oh well, I think it's really important for you to realize that you made a mistake. That's really good, Camila." It's like, I know, isn't it? I'm so happy that I'm a fucking good person. But yeah, in the end, he understood. He told me that twice, just so that I could feel better, I guess. I was like, I know, and then at some point I had to say it. I was like, I was cleaning the whole mess. I must have gone insane at some point. Because I was like, I swear to God, I said two things. I said, I apologize to the painter for me, please. And second of all, I didn't want to make an accusation of him or anything. I just really truly thought that wasn't there before, and it turns out it was. So I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. You know what's the worst part of this? He understood. He was divine with me. It's all good. But now I come to think about the fact that my word lost credibility. Like, I swear to God, tomorrow I could say, "Hey, I was raped by the security guy," and I bet the building manager is gonna be like, "Do you have footage of that? Is it in 4K? I mean, I don't know. You don't? I don't know what to believe, The past week was the broken tile, now the security guy. Everybody has something against you. I feel like I've lost credibility on this building, which is a bummer because I have a really good relationship with the building managers. well, I guess I am human after all, aren't I? I made a mistake just like all of you out there. And God just showed me, you're not fucking perfect here. You are insane. So do something about it. Go to therapy or something. I didn't tell my therapist about this because I'm telling you guys, so fuck therapy. Why do therapy if you can do stand-up, right? No, I love therapy. I don't have anything against it. I'm not the type to run away from it. But yeah, that's basically my story. I framed the guy for something that he didn't do. And then luckily, because I'm a decent kind of person who does make mistakes, but it's not undecent, I did apologize, and I have to come to terms with the fact that sometimes I may be seeing things that are not even there. That's all, folks. Bye, Boston. Thank you for watching.